This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Excuse me, may I come in?
Please come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sit down.
Thank you, sir.
You are Venkatesh.
Yes, sir.
Venkatesh. Achha. You are from Srikakulam.
Yes, sir.
Achha. Tell me, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is
Don't
Banna.
have to take good afternoon again. You have already told?
Yes.
Start it.
Yes, sir. I am Banna.
Again, I am rectifying like others. Just don't sit with hands crossed on the laps. Please, tell me.
I am Banna Venkatesh, sir. I am from Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh. My parents are into agriculture. I have done my schooling up to 10th standard in Srikakulam. Then I have done my graduation in electronics and communication from NIT Trichy. I graduated in 2019. Then I worked as a chip design engineer in Qualcomm for more than 2 years. After that, I have resigned from the company and started preparing for civil services. This is my second attempt and the first interview.
Good. Now, you hail from Srikakulam.
Yes, sir.
Tell why there is abject poverty in that district and what the district administration has not done should do it.
Sir, Srikakulam is one of the backward districts in Andhra Pradesh. There are multiple reasons for that. First thing, Srikakulam is one of the districts having high rates of migration and unemployment. So people are migrating towards nearby cities like Hyderabad and Chennai in search of livelihood. So I think the district administration should focus on this migration as a priority. By generating local employment, this issue can be addressed and people can get remunerative opportunities in the district itself. And also, there are certain health issues in Srikakulam district. There is a region called Uddanam in Srikakulam, which is facing a chronic kidney disease for the past 3 decades. Till now, there is no comprehensive solution on finding the cause of the disease and preventive mechanisms. So, I think district administration and the state government has to prioritize it and find a lasting solution to that. And also, we are having second least literacy rate in the entire state. So prioritizing education is one of the priorities where primary education and secondary education should be prioritized so that on the literacy front, the state district is going to improve. So I think these are the major reasons why there is poverty in the district, and I think district administration has to prioritize these things.
It is not poverty, it is abject poverty in the language of Amartya Sen. So what I was the collector in the adjacent district in Odisha, I have gone there.
Yes.
People live in palm leaf houses. I had to go, it is 87.
Yes.
Things might have improved in between a little. I had to crawl inside. You cannot stand erect. You have to crawl inside, and people, they just, even in winter, they just put a mat and this thing sleep on the ground. So now, after independence, so many days have gone. After the statehood in 56, Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
So now so many days. Why other places like Vishakapatnam, Vijayawada and other things are developed? Why no action has been taken? Don't you think that the inhabitants there have got a role in it?
Sir, I think there are multiple reasons for the abject poverty in this region. Particularly, Srikakulam is one of the districts that are affected by left-wing extremism. So a lot of tribal areas in the hilly regions are affected by this, and it inherits the development of infrastructure in that region. But in the recent times, a lot of improvement has happened, particularly in the health and education sector. A lot of initiatives have been taken and standard of living has marginally improved. And coming to tackling Naxalism, a lot of progress has been made, particularly the Greyhounds infrastructure, which is created in the United AP to tackle this, has done extremely well, and Naxalism has come to a minimal, in my opinion, sir. So, ground level, there are initiatives happening, and we can expect progress in the coming times.
It is poverty which is begetting Naxalism, or Naxalite activities are begetting poverty?
Sir, I think it's a vicious cycle where Naxalism is hindering the progress and development, and this lack of progress and development is being utilized by them to make people away from the government, and this cycle is happening, and it is important that we break this cycle of...
Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated when? In Telangana and Andhra?
In 2014, sir.
What has it done good to the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, or has it created a difficult situation for both?
I think post-bifurcation in 2014, there are certain challenges faced by the Andhra Pradesh government, because Andhra Pradesh lost its capital city Hyderabad, which is an economic powerhouse for the state. So Andhra Pradesh left with no capital, and it has to start from the scratch, ground level, to build up new capital and infrastructure. So state has faced multiple challenges, but in the present days, I think both the state governments, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, are doing well in their own fronts. Particularly Andhra Pradesh per capita income has improved, and a lot of industrial progress has happened. And at the social front, a lot of investments are happening in a health and education sector. So overall, both the states are performing well post bifurcation, and there is scope for development.
Telangana doesn't. I have travelled through Telangana. It is a rain shadow area, just like a arid area and desert-like area. So Telangana might have suffered more than Andhra Pradesh, because Andhra Pradesh has taken the chunk of the Vijayawada, this thing, Vishakapatnam and other things.
Yes.
Maybe they have lost, but they have come with Amaravati now.
Yes.
So, but Telangana has suffered in the bargain. So, why Telangana was demanding for these things, and what has been the result?
Telangana demanding
for statehood.
Yes, sir.
And whether they have fulfilled their the demand for which they wanted the statehood.
Sir, I think up to a certain extent, yes, Telangana demands have been fulfilled post bifurcation. They have demanded statehood, particularly for enhanced representation for their people, both in political front, social front, and economic fronts. So in the combined AP, politically they are neglected, and also economically most of the investments and developments are happening in coastal Andhra, and there is an apprehension that among the Telangana people that they are being neglected in the path of development. So post bifurcation, Telangana has excelled in most of the fields, particularly coming to agriculture sector. In spite of being in the rain-fed region, a lot of irrigation infrastructure is created, and now Telangana is doing very good in agricultural production. And also on the economic front, a lot of investments are happening in Hyderabad and surrounding regions. So both social and economically, Telangana has benefited, and I think aspirations of the people have met up to a large extent.
Okay, I'll just ask one question before I transfer. Of late, there is a discussion that the judicial activism and judicial authorities are encroaching upon the parliament's power. I just want to know, what is the control of parliament over the judiciary?
Sir, we have well-built checks and mechanisms to control the three organs of the government: legislature, executive, and judiciary. So particularly when it comes to judiciary, and particularly when it comes to the top courts, appointment of judges, even though it is done by the collegium, it is confirmed by the government. And also in the removal of judges, parliament has the role, particularly Supreme Court and High Court judges. So they can be removed when they get 2/3 majority in the parliament. So parliament has control over judiciary, and also judiciary has to maintain that balance, and it has its own powers to control upon the legislative power of parliaments. So there are checks and balances.
Once an impeachment proceeding is taken up by the parliament against one of the judges,
Yes.
Can he hear the cases till it is pending?
Sir, I'm not very sure about that, sir.
No.
No.
When the impeachment proceeding is going on in the parliament,
Yes.
the specific judge cannot hear. He will not be removed, but he cannot hear the cases till it is over. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Venkatesh.
Yes, sir.
Venkatesh, you come from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which city in Andhra is now currently functioning as the capital?
So it's the Amravati, sir.
Amravati.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about Vishakapatnam? It was also under discussion.
Yes, sir. There is a discussion that the single capital Amravati, now it will be made 3 capitals. Amravati as the legislative.
No, that
Vishakapatnam
is okay.
Yes.
There was the discussion for 3 capitals, but due to some reasons, it could not materialize properly, right?
Yes, sir.
So after that, there was, I think the statements were also made by Honorable CM that Vishakapatnam can be made the capital. So what happened on that proposal? That has been shelved. Now Amravati is the only capital.
Yes, sir. There was a proposal to decentralize the capitals, but that has been repealed now. Now Amravati is the functioning capital of Andhra Pradesh. Maybe in future the government may come up with 3 capitals again, sir.
Okay. And your optional is geography.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Between Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, there is a very famous wetland just on the border of the 2 states. What is that wetland?
It's the Pulicat Lake, sir.
Pulicat Lake. And what is it famous for in terms of its biodiversity?
There are a lot of storks are there, and then it is also the wetland is also very significant for other biodiversity around the region. It is a significant place where a lot of groundwater research will also happen, and it is also housing ISRO facilities, Srikakulam.
Okay. What is the origin of the Godavari River?
So it is at Nasik in Maharashtra, sir. And then it flows through Maharashtra, it enters Telangana, then it enters Andhra Pradesh, and it merges with Bay of Bengal at Rajahmundry, near Rajahmundry.
Okay. And your father is into agriculture.
Yes, sir.
So what are the crops that your family is growing?
Sir, during the Kharif season, we grow paddy, and since we get water only for 1 season, and during the Rabi, we shift to pulses. So with the little moisture available after harvesting, we sow pulses, and during the summer, it is left fallow.
Achha. Yes, sir. Okay, so Venkatesh, tell me, there is a lot of emphasis on millets now.
Yes,
okay. Sir. And Government of India is also focusing on that. There is a millets missions also. What are the major millets in Andhra Pradesh?
Sir, in Andhra Pradesh, ragi is majorly cultivated. And also other than ragi, jowar and bajra are also grown. So I think these 3 are majorly grown in Andhra, as per my understanding.
Okay. And you are working in Qualcomm.
Yes, sir.
You worked for 2 years there.
Yes.
Right? Okay. In India, we are now focusing on development of the semiconductor industry.
Yes, sir.
Right? A new plant has been also inaugurated. What are the challenges that we have for the development of this industry?
So semiconductor industry, for successful establishment of end-to-end semiconductors, we have particular challenges. From the design side, we have very good expertise, we have very good human resource. But coming to fabrication, we do not have fabrication facilities. Currently, 60% of the world's IC fabrication happens in Taiwan, and next it dominated by Korea, US and China. So we do not have the fabrication ecosystem here. And secondly, the raw material, the silicon wafers that are needed, is most of the materials today we are imported from China. We do not have production facilities here. And also we need clean water, which is a raw material for making these wafers, which is very expensive to make. And semiconductor as a whole is a capital intensive industry requiring billions of dollars. So these constraints are hindering in the process of developing this semiconductor ecosystem. Now, government realized this strategic importance of semiconductors and came up with semiconductor mission. By partnering with private industry, we are trying to establish fabrication here so that we be self-reliant in the semiconductors and reduce dependence on imports.
Okay. Venkatesh, tell me, in Andhra Pradesh, there are a lot of income support measures for people, right?
Yes.
There are many schemes, I think, for students, for women, there are
Yes.
many schemes. But is it compatible with the fiscal capacity of the state? Because that is also under a lot of debate. that is there enough fiscal space for the state to go for such income support schemes?
Yes, sir. I think welfare is the main objective of the government in Andhra Pradesh. So they're coming up with multiple social welfare measures catering to women, children, SC, ST, and minorities. But fiscal discipline is also very important. As per the state budget, the fiscal deficit is within the FRBM limits.
Okay.
But continuous support measures without focusing on revenue generation is going to be challenging, as it will put burden on the states. So state has to focus on increasing its revenues as well, so that it can meet its expenditure obligations. So I think with the focus on industry and investments, state can handle that in the futures.
Okay. So Venkatesh, in Andhra Pradesh, assembly elections are also going to be conducted with the general elections.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So particularly from the assembly point of view, right?
Yes, sir.
What would be the three most important social issues for the people when they consider the elections? What will be social issues that would be most important? Three issues as per your understanding.
Sir, according to my understanding, the first issue is the problem of unemployment in the state, particularly among the youth. So many of the youth are going towards Telangana and other states for employment opportunities. So
Okay.
that is one priority. So for the coming up governments.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, there is a common perception among the people that even though welfare measures are being provided to them, there is a lot of inflation and these measures are not going to give them enough relief. So I think focusing on the revenue side and improving the fiscal discipline is one major point.
Okay.
Next, I think, and focus on the health and education as a whole, sir. In particularly certain districts like Vizianagaram and Srikakulam,
Okay.
these socioeconomic indicators are lagging, and government should prioritize these areas for balanced regional developments. I think these three issues are priorities.
Okay. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Venkatesh, you've done your engineering from NIT Trichy.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went on to do your job in Qualcomm.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you've made your parents proud.
Thank you.
This is a really good college. Then why do you want to join civil services?
Ma'am, after the graduation, I have joined the company because since I have done electro engineering and I thought I will get some work experience. And also I have some financial obligations to meet. So I have cleared my family debt and saved some expenses for preparation. And civil services is my passion, ma'am, because this as a career gives me opportunity to work at the grassroots level and contribute to the positive change in the society. And also, this is a highly respected job, and it has very good career progression as well. So I think that's why I have opted for.
What do you think are important qualities of a civil servant?
A civil servant must possess the following qualities. First thing, he should have empathy, ma'am, because he should be able to listen to the problems of the people, and he should be able to solve their problems. Secondly, he should be professionally competent, so that he should be aware of his job roles and responsibilities so that he can execute them with perfection. He should be a very good team player, because managing a district or managing a large region cannot be done by a single person, and growing a strong team is very important. And also he should have a vision and goal, and he should inspire his team members to do the tasks. So I think these qualities a civil servant should possess.
Do you think you have these qualities?
Yes, ma'am, I feel I have these qualities.
Okay. You've been working with Qualcomm. So India's we've been setting up manufacturing units for semiconductors.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are these located?
Ma'am, currently we have partnered with the private sector to establish these facilities in Gujarat and Assam. Particularly from Indian side, Tata is involving in semiconductor fabrication. So we have started production we are starting production and expecting the first tape out by 2026. And yes,
foreign companies also setting up a plant in Sanand,
yes,
Gujarat.
Micron Technologies is establishing.
Micron technology. Okay. Now, can you tell me if, as an officer, as a policy maker, how do we balance the interests of the country in terms of development and environment?
Ma'am, I think development and environmental conservation are not mutually exclusive. And within that realm, we have to go for sustainable development. So whatever development activities we do across the country should be in line with these principles. Environmental conservation as a priority. We have legislations to make sure that environment is not harmed. For example, whenever we start any particularly large projects, we have environmental impact assessments so that whatever the impacts of the project are mitigated. And also mostly these projects times involve resettlement and rehabilitation as well. So the concerns of the indigenous people as well as should be addressed. So I think we have to manage both environment as well as development.
Now, when we say that we have to balance and we have EIA, the Environment Impact Assessment.
Yes.
So there's this Ken-Betwa link. Ken-Betwa link, but then it's also submerging the core area of a tiger reserve, Panna tiger. So EIA was not done.
Ma'am, in some regional projects there are certain issues. Okay, I mean environment is being compromised for the development aspects. I think the measures need to be stringent and it has to be followed in letter and spirit, in my opinion.
Okay. Recently, a COP summit happened. So what were the outcomes? What was the main point of discussion there?
The COP summit in UAE, the main agenda is to tackle the climate change and limit the GHG emissions. It also called upon the countries to increase its NDCs so that we can meet the Paris targets of limiting temperature to 2 degrees. And we have come up with a loss and damages fund. So countries have contributed financially to this fund so that...
But there was one particular area, see, when you say that it's talking about climate change, reducing greenhouse gas emission, these are things which COP has been doing since ever.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the core discussion. But what was the new point, that the agenda that was being discussed?
The new point is allocating funds to the loss and damages fund, ma'am, so that the countries, that are vulnerable countries which are grappling with impacts of climate change.
It was also talking about global carbon stock? Okay.
I am not aware of.
Okay. You're from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's also, elections are coming up. There's a problem of freebies, especially in Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, where a lot of freebies are being given. So how do we resolve this?
Ma'am, the problem of political freebies is not specific to a particular state. Across the country it's happening. I think the ruling party as well as the opposition are trying to increase the freebies and trying to lure the vote bank. So I think there should be some mechanism to regulate these freebies. There are certain propositions like the parties should be made responsible in the manifesto, like how they are going to fund these freebies, like what are the fiscal implications of these freebies. And the Election Commission also should utilize its powers to make sure that these freebies are not going to dominate the propaganda and campaigning scenario. I think Parliament, it is ultimately the responsibility of the Parliament to make sure that political freebies are not used instead of development as an agenda to gain votes. So I think multiple stakeholders should be involved in this, including courts as well.
Should there be state funding of elections? That could be a possible solution.
I think, ma'am, in my opinion, a state funding of elections can be a good solution, but I think these freebies are going beyond the funding itself, ma'am. They are promising certain things like free bus services, like free electricity, free electronic appliances, etc., free scooters, etc. So I think this goes beyond funding, and these promises are to be restricted, in my opinion.
Okay. My last question to you is that when you get selected, let's say you are a DM of a district,
yes,
and you have to promote fitness in the district, because I see that your sports and your extracurriculars are all about sports. Yes. So how do you promote fitness in your district?
Ma'am, I think it depends on region to region. Particularly, fitness is not a big concern in rural areas because people are very much engaged into physical work. It is a problem in urban areas. So I think provision of these urban parks, etc., in urban areas are very important, so that people wake up early and then go to jogging, etc. And also, it also depends on the food we intake. So having right food choices is also very important. So promoting right food style across the people is important. So FASA has come up with the Eat Right India campaign. So these kind of things can be promoted in the district so that people make healthy lifestyle choices.
Thank you.
Hello Venkatesh.
Hi.
You like playing and watching cricket.
Yes, sir.
There is a controversy going on regarding IPL versus Ranji Trophy
Yes, sir.
and the participation of players. Sunil Gavaskar has made a statement or a suggestion regarding this. Are you aware? What did he suggest?
I'm not very aware what particular statement he made.
Okay. And do you think that IPL being more glamorous, the tendency of the players is to give it a priority rather than focusing on the long-term, career and focusing on Ranji or Test cricket?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, that has been the trend in the recent years that people are prioritizing IPL over domestic format because IPL, they are getting very much remuneration. They are getting crores of salaries in IPL. And also the IPL, the performances in IPL are taken as a benchmark to select them into the national teams. I think that is a disturbing trend.
Are you sure that BCCI is doing that? Someone performing better in IPL is selected? They have taken a certain stand recently.
Recently, BCCI has observed this trend and they have made it very clear that domestic format is the backbone of our Indian cricket and domestic performances are mandatory and crucial for their selections.
So IPL performance is not the criteria based on which BCCI is selecting. So don't you think there is a kind of a contradiction here? Or is it only BCCI has cleared its stand now?
Yes, sir. BCCI, but players are prioritizing IPL because of these money matters and the branding, etc. But BCCI is very clear in its stance and it has also come up with certain incentives for players.
And how about public perception? Which one do you think is more popular these days? Test cricket or IPL?
Sir, I think IPL is very popular, but in the recent times,
if you see crowd at the stadium, which one is more crowded?
It is obviously IPL.
So do you think that it is also reflective of our, cultural change that has happened in our society? We all want instant gratification, instant results rather than waiting patiently. Is it a societal change also?
Sir, I think that is also one factor because people are very busy these days and they are getting limited time, so they want instant entertainment. But Test cricket is the beautiful format and it is the true game and many people like Test cricket as well. In the recent times with the Test Championship and other players, Test cricket is also gaining importance and keeping in mind, BCCI has given certain incentives for promoting Test cricket.
But ICC is holding a World Cup of T20 every second year. So do you think that is also a wrong precedent? If we are having one day World Cup frequencies 4 years, why have T20 World Cup every alternate year?
Sir, I think it's because the people are very much interested in T20 format.
Or is it because of commercial interest?
Yes,
ICC just wants money. They don't care about people, or players' fitness or the fatigue that they are having.
So I do not think ICC is completely into commercial side. It is also in the agenda of ICC that cricket as a whole should be promoted across the countries. But since T20 cricket is popular among the countries, so they are trying to make more T20 events. But also ICC is also aware about promotion of cricket as a whole, so they are also prioritizing Test cricket as well. So by conducting Test championships, they are trying to revive the support and popularity for Test cricket as well.
So has cricket also been added to Olympics?
So right now it is not added, but there are talks that but 2028 Olympics cricket is included.
Which format? It's T20.
T20 format.
So do you think that will help popularize cricket at a global level?
I think yes, sir, because Olympics is an event which is participated by countries across the world. Right now, if we take hardly cricket is played by 10-12 countries. So once cricket is inducted in Olympics, many countries will participate.
Okay, my last question. Can you tell me what is the definition of heat waves?
Sir, a heat wave is a condition where the temperatures in a particular region crosses the normal temperature for more than 2 days. There is a temperature limit 4.5 degrees. So when the temperature is above 4.5 degrees for more than 2 days, it is considered as a heat wave.
Is there any absolute limit also?
Sir? Yes, sir. Absolutely there is. If the temperature crosses 45 degrees centigrade, it is termed as
45? Okay. And same for hilly areas?
No, sir. I think it is depending on the regions. For the plains, there is certain limit. For the hilly areas and the coastal regions, there are different limits are there.
Okay, thank you, Venkatesh. That's all from my side.
I am very happy. Few people we interviewed here, you are confident.
Thank you.
A person coming from a backward district of Srikakulam, I have seen, because I was collector in adjacent district, Odisha. So, coming from a backward district, meeting family obligations, doing some service, clearing their debts, and appearing in such a confident manner. All the questions you have dealt with authority. Actually, I am really impressed by you.
Thank you.
Because coming from such a backward district, poor place, with family A coming, and you are confident, you appear confident.
Thank you.
And your answers are, please maintain it. And I see a civil servant in you.
Thank you.
Yes. Take my words. If your written mark a little higher, answer in this manner. Don't be arrogant.
Yes.
Your voice should be normal like you told. Don't show your heavy knowledge and other things.
Yes.
This way you will definitely be into the service. If your written mark is not in margin, definitely I see a civil servant in you.
Thank you.
And I am really impressed because I have seen the abject poverty in those areas. Coming some person and answering so confidently about even the freebies you answered. Whatever these things, how to restrict it, and your the other points, tricky questions, but you answered in a very good manner.
Thank you.
Now you go prepare your background things, your geography, international events.
Yes.
Things are India becoming these things, and A to Z, and your dress code is perfectly all right. You can prefer a black tie if a red tie if you can be.
Yes.
So you are definitely making it. I am telling you.
Thank you.
This is a little book I am giving you free of cost. I have written on this A to Z on interview.
Thank you.
What is your dress code, how to take, how to go, how to, all these things. And I think you all agree. Now you can leave, I think.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best.
All the best.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Please.